Greetings and welcome. I am the Gentleman, and this is the Gentleman Voice. As you might have seen in my channel description, I am open to any form of request for what I should review. And now that I've finally gotten some, I can actually start doing so. So, let's roll the intro and get started. The Gentleman Voice. Critical analysis and reviews for books and movies. Tonight's feature presentation. And what better way to begin the reviewing of requests than starting with the first request, Behind Your Eyes. This independent film is a suspense thriller from newcomer director Clint Lien. He chose an intense topic for his first project, perhaps to help make a name for himself and draw attention to his style, but maybe a bit too intense. And because of the subject matter and the content of this movie, several precautions have been taken to make this video as family-friendly as possible. For example, I will censor out any near nudity scenes that come across our way. Explicit language, or as much of it as possible, will be bleeped out. And I'm even going to try and omit the more intense scenes, so that way your innocence can continue to be preserved. That said, though, there is no escaping the intense subject matter and content in this movie. So, if this does not sound like a movie that you want to hear about, I suggest you leave now. I assume the rest of you know what you're getting yourself into, so let's take a stab at looking at what lies behind your eyes. So our film begins with a DVD being put into a player and a girl recording herself laying on the bed, doing nothing. Now I know what you're thinking. Her turning on the camera and just laying on the bed and doing nothing seems rather pointless. But let me tell you, this is the high point of her day. I mean, there's nothing pathetic about just turning on a camera when you're home alone and there's nothing going on. I mean, I do that, and I'm my God, I've got issues. But are quite normal and not at all pathetic. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna need a moment before we go on. Is this all there is for me? Okay, I'm ready. Not really, but let's go on anyway. The woman video's recording gets interrupted by a text, which she then ignores so that she can call the person back.
Don't text and drive.
Yes, because as we know, talking on the phone and driving is totally safer. So she goes downstairs to do yoga. Hold on! Why? Why does she set up a camera and then just leave the room? I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, what if I made a review like that? Good evening, I'm the Gentleman, and today we're going to talk about... Hello? Oh yeah, hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, no, not a problem at all. Oh yeah, no, really, I'll tell you how to make toast. It's real simple. Here. No, I got time. Okay, listen, so you take the bread, and you first put it into a toaster, see, and... See? It makes no sense. Anyways, back on track. She goes downstairs to do some yoga, but we immediately know something bad is going to happen because we hear a heartbeat and heavy breathing. And that was the shortest yoga session I've ever seen. Seriously, what's with this girl and seeing tasks through to completion? Suddenly there's a knock on the door. No, don't go open the door. That actually involves seeing something you started through to completion.
Want to buy a box of caramels? Our soccer team needs to go to Toronto.
Nice reading, kid.
Yeah, sure. I'll buy a box. Here you go.
Just one?
I'm afraid that's all I can afford.
Whatever.
Wow! Talk about an ungrateful kid! I mean, this is a complete stranger who is graciously buying one of your cookie boxes despite your really weak sales pitch. And you say, whatever?
Whatever.
Jeez, imagine how that would go over in any other situation.
Dad, I crashed the truck against the light pole. It's totaled.
It's okay, we'll buy you a Mercedes.
Whatever.
Oh, I'm such a good father. For that matter, why is the kid out selling alone? Doesn't that constitute a safety risk? Wow, 6 minutes in and I'm already questioning the logic. This is going to be fun. Closing the door, the woman walks back into the house. But because she forgot to lock the door, a man in black slips inside. Yet she's got more important things to think about, like how many articles of clothing can she take off before reaching the bedroom? Because... yeah, well, that's the question everybody in the audience is wondering. Don't forget, I promised to censor everything. A hand grabs her and everything goes black before fading back in to show her bloodied body recorded on the camera. So, let me get this straight. She started recording up in the bedroom because she knew she was about to die and wanted to make it easier for the killer? Was it all a conspiracy? Did she think the man in black was her boyfriend? It was just a kinky sex game gone wrong? Is that why she stripped in the hallway? Give us an explanation, movie! But no, that's all we get of that, folks, because now we're cutting to our main characters. And because we don't get any names to call them for a while, let's call her Miss Frowny Boring and him Mr. Incredibly Boring. No, I'm seriously going to call them that. Listen to this conversation and tell me that you actually care.
I'm sorry. I see you try to call.
I'm so sorry, babe.
Oh.
Did you have Black Sabbath on 11?
No, I found somebody, babe. I'm sorry.
I think we all know this is just filler until the killer shows up. So he goes to take a shower. Yes, they're so boring that he doesn't even invite her in with him. Not that that would be interesting. It would just be more interesting than watching her sit out in the hallway.
One person came
So they talk about a restaurant. Yeah. Thanks, movie, for the almost naked man shot. That really makes me want to see more. None of that! I meant the movie! Anyways, what I gathered from that conversation is that she wants to open a restaurant and now she's worried that she won't get a loan from the bank, and do you really care?
Don't worry. You're too awesome not to get it.
You know what else is awesome?
What's that?
Your ass!
Good God, never say that again. Ever! Go back to being Mr. and Miss Boring. Go eat your dinner. Go, go.
I must say, my love, that was very nearly perfect.
Yes, it was. Now, if only your dubbing was. No, I'm serious. Listen to that again and compare it to this.
Well, a shrimp appetizer would have put it over the top. I must say, my love, that was very nearly perfect.
Congratulations, movie! I have here an award for the worst dubbing that anyone's ever seen. Congratulations! What do you plan on doing next?
Well, I was thinking in my career I might like to try and voice...
I was just asking to be polite. Shut up, sit down. No one cares. They talk about tomorrow and how they are going to visit Mr. Boring's parents, which makes him nervous.
Well, he's got to be proud of you. How can he not be?
I let him down, Erica. And he never forgave me.
I know. If I heard your unforgivably bad dubbing, I wouldn't want to see you either. So we cut to the next day where we see Mr. Boring watching the news about the earlier murder.
Is that about that girl that got murdered?
Yeah, just a few blocks from there.
Still looking for a boyfriend.
What? You think he did it?
Isn't it always the boyfriend?
Not really. You see, sometimes it's a psychopathic killer, or it's an apathetic, boring person that nobody would suspect. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if he was the murderer? I mean, he seems really interested in the story, just like the killer would be. What a twist that'd be. Although it really wouldn't be a twist because I'm making fun of it. So they get ready to leave and close the blinds. Now, this may seem like a frivolous scene for most people, but in all truth, I'm very sure that later in the movie, someone is going to wonder if she closed the blinds, and it's going to become a really big point, and we, the audience, will remember that she did because they made it into this big, long, drawn-out scene. I mean, why else would they do that? Or that's just giving the movie too much credit. They hit the road to visit Mr. Boring's parents, but he stops the car for a moment, and suddenly...
car!
And welcome to Bad Language! I'm sure that you're happy I'm here to make it all better. So the guy forces them to drive to an old abandoned house, and ignores their questions about what he wants.
What do you want from us? Please, please.
Take off your shirts.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Okay. I'm prepared. You try and show us something that we're not meant to see, and...
Hurry up.
Oh, phew! For a moment there, I thought you were going to show us a little bit too much. So he ties their hands with zip ties, sharing a very dramatic look with the Mr. Boring here. Why? Are they in league or something? Is this just some elaborate ploy? After that, he goes to Miss Frowny and whoa, whoa, whoa! He cut off a bra! He cut off a bra! That is a no-show! That is a no-show! Oh, okay. It's off screen. that was too close. Ah! What was that? Is that supposed to be a transition? Okay, well, let's just go on. The next scene opens with them wearing their shirts again, which makes taking them off entirely pointless, and their situation no better than before. Time passes, she tries to call for help, no service, more torture with little point. Miss Frowny is made to dance in the most awkward dance scene ever. I'd show it, but it's ridiculously unimportant. I mean... All you need to know is it's another day of torture, she dances really awkwardly, and that's pretty much it. This movie's got to kick into high gear, otherwise it's just going to be a really boring hour and a half. Because so far all I've seen is shirtless torture and psychedelic little transitions. Okay, what's up with these transitions? I mean... You can do a simple cut or a fade away. You don't have to flash psychedelic lights every time you change a scene. So finally in the next scene we get some hints of what is going on when they discuss the dead girlfriend from earlier.
Oh my god. The girl. You're the who killed his girlfriend.
It's terrible what happened.
I loved her.
And what follows here? Well, none other than... more torture! Knock it off with a psychedelic light! So the next night, yes, another one. The other guy comes over and grabs her.
No! No! Don't you touch her!
Nice emoting there. You know, this is your girlfriend who's dragging away, not your dirty laundry.
Listen, I'll do anything you want. Just please stop hurting him.
Don't humiliate yourself.
Oh! Ooh, it's about time you did something like that! Wesley, are you stupid? Pick up the gun! Who's that?
Move it. Move.
See? See, movie? That's how you do a simple transition! Well done, movie! You're learning! Well done! But their captor is not happy about almost becoming a eunuch or the strange car that caught them.
Take off all of your clothes.
Whoever's in that truck is gonna call the police.
I think she begged for her life.
Okay, that's it! I didn't want to make a joke about this movie, but you're forcing my hand. I mean, okay, you don't have to just throw those flashing lights in randomly all the time. I mean, what if I saw a review like, hey, you know what I can do? No, what? When I touch people, this is what happens. Ah! That's just messed up, man. But at last, this torture scene comes to an end when he just drops the whip and says he's done.
I'm done.
But rather than flee before he changes his mind, they have to take the time to put their clothes back on. Look, I'm all for covering up and being modest, but, if a crazy psycho guy has me a naked prisoner in a building and I have a chance to escape, be ready to arrest me for indecent exposure as I go running down the street. Taking a chance that was conveniently given to them, the boring family starts to escape. So, what you gonna do? You just gonna sit there? Are you gonna wait for the guy with the gun to come in and see what you're doing? Or are you just gonna go? Go! Finally some sense! Oh, come on! He just tripped on his own feet!
My ankle. I think it's broke.
What? What? That is the worst BS statement I've heard since ever! I mean, it takes more than just a little tiny stumble like that to break your ankle. I mean, sprained? Yes. Twisted? Yes. Broken? Boom! Get up and run it off!
Come on, get up. Come on, get up.
No. Go. Just go to that cabin we saw.
Okay.
So Miss Frowny runs to the nearby cabin for help, but something seems off about the people there.
I gotta call the police.
Now sit down, dear. Sit down by the fire. Sit. I'll put a kettle on first. He must be just frigid out inside.
Wow, you're taking the whole girlfriend and boyfriend capture thing extremely disgustingly well. I mean, maybe a little bit of panic, or a few questions, or a gah! Who's that?
What's your name?
Erica Johnson?
And how old are you?
The room's starting to feel really uncomfortable.
How long since you have eaten?
Take a seat, Father. You're scaring the skin off this poor girl with all your questions.
Only after you tell us what size bra you're wearing.
Tell us what happened to you, dear.
Steven's hurt. He needs help.
Are you ready to marry this man?
Seriously, these guys are creepier than the guy at the first cabin. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they're the psychotic killers, but that's too obvious, I'm sure.
Just sit down. You need to rest. They'll be here soon.
But Miss Frowny doesn't listen and goes to call them herself, only to discover the phone is not plugged in, which leads to Father smacking her on the head and giving us another psychedelic transition. Really, movie? Are you just trying to show that everybody in that area is a psychotic killer? Because if you are, you're doing it very well. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Mr. Boring was also a psychotic killer because, well, I would just make my earlier assumption correct. And the way you're going, I wouldn't be surprised. So Miss Frowny wakes up in an old couple's basement and a familiar voice calls out to her.
You okay?
Oh yay, the creepy guy from the first lodge. I guess they captured him too. Unless it was Mr. Boring with his non-existent broken ankle.
Oh, you're gonna pay for this.
Look, I'd hold that thought because right now we've got more pressing matters.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust the psycho who just spent the last 2 days torturing me and my boyfriend.
He got his money's worth.
Oh! Called it! Called it! Back at the lodge, the dramatic look they shared.
You don't know Steven.
I worked with him at First Century. And I sold drugs to the suits in the building, including the Little Prince.
Steven doesn't do drugs.
He was one of my biggest clients. I just thought he was in the closet trying to figure shit out.
Steven is not gay.
Okay, look, can we just have the psychopath family show up to shut them up? You know, the Mama Psycho, Papa Psycho, and Psycho Jr., who is none other than Mr. Boring, as we discovered in a not-so-shocking reveal. Now, the next scenes are a trifle graphic, so let's gloss over them real quick. Psycho Jr. is gay, and his uber-religious father found out and tried to make him convert from homosexuality. Psycho Jr. refuses and runs away. Look, I'm not here to preach or to assume that my point of view is right. But I think that we can all agree that this father is out of line where his son is concerned. And it is uncomfortable to watch. I mean, look at this scene where he and his son are bargaining over who gets to have who.
It's time for us to be a family again. And I am here to make things right.
If you have found the strength of the Lord, then prove it. Know this woman, then cleanse her.
I brought her for you, Father.
For me? I have 53 souls buried in these hills. It's not me who needs to do this.
That I was not meant to save the Jezebels of the world. I was meant to save the rogues, the cads of the world. I will save him. You will save her.
I don't know who to be insulted for. Should I be insulted for Mr. Boring, for being a gay man who was not accepted by his parents and so was twisted by bitterness into a psychotic killer? Or should I feel sorry for the uber-religious and conservative father who happily murders people in the name of religious cleansing? It's not pity, understand? It's insulted. I know that there are many people in the world who are either of these things, but they don't act this way. Maybe a few do, but not all of them. And to portray the small group like that in such a prominent light in this movie, and showing that because you are this, you won't do that, and because of that, you will go crazy, it's a little bit insulting. I know that there are some people who are like that, but it's a tiny minority. And it is really hard to watch, and it makes, if you were an ultra-religious or conservative person, this would be a hard film to watch, because it shows how extreme such a thing can be, even though sometimes you don't act extreme. So, I don't know whether to be insulted for these people. I probably should, but I don't know which one. Anyways, back to the movie.
I need guidance. I need quiet time.
Good. He's gone. That gives our Psycho Jr. the chance to talk things over with the captives.
Well, it seems you two have stepped into a bit of a family situation.
Please don't do this. You gotta let us go. No one's hurt.
You hurt my father. 53 souls buried in these hills. You couldn't let that go.
You know, this begs the question. 53 people murdered. Wouldn't there be stories about this family? Rumors of danger? Wouldn't there have been a police investigation into the deaths? Oh, wait, how silly of me. That would involve logic. We threw that out in the 6th minute of the movie. So they break free of their bonds and gear up for their epic climax.
We've got two choices. We wait down here and try to surprise them, or we see if we could slip past them through the house.
I'm not good on waiting.
Me neither.
I'd actually go with option number 3, which is overpower the Three Stooges so that they won't be coming after you when you escape. You see, that way you have the advantage of surprise, and we, the audience, get an exciting action sequence. But instead, they try to sneak out and are caught by the mother.
Come on!
Hold it. What happened in that scene? Miss Frowny is carrying a knife, then it vanishes. She grabs the pot of beans and throws it on Mama Psycho. Cut to Psycho Jr. stumbling. Cut to creepy guy grunting and grabbing his leg. Why? Explanation? But then he escapes. That was the most unclear action scene I've ever seen. If you're going to go to all the trouble of including an anticlimax, make it so that we can see what's going on and can understand it. Otherwise, what's the point? Well, anyways, Erica gets captured and creepy guy runs to the first cabin, where he pulls out a videotape and looks at a thumbnail of the recording showing his girlfriend's murder.
You knew I killed her before you watched that.
Oh! Call that too! You know, for a movie whose back description says that when Erica escapes, things only get worse, and the twists and turns take the viewer into uncharted territory and unyielding mayhem. It's kind of sad that the twists and turns are things that I was joking about. But you know what? I know I shouldn't get my hopes up when the back of the DVD case spells things, T-H-E-I-N-G-S. So it's not things, it's things. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up.
I guess having a serial killer for a father kind of gave it away.
Meanwhile, Miss Frowny's situation has taken a turn for the worse.
I am going to gather all of my talents, all of my skills, and bring them to bear down on you. I will allow you the pain of hope and possibility, then plunge you into a pit of black despair. I will put you to the question again and again and again. You are a witch, and I will not suffer you to live.
Cut? Why are we lingering in this hallway? Someone say cut? Hello? What is the point of...
I'm not afraid of you.
Okay, why didn't she say that earlier?
You are a witch, and I will not suffer you to live. Frida, are you awake?
Frida, is your line.
Oh, I'm not afraid of you. Hey, you know what, we'll keep that cut and we'll just keep on going. We're an indie film. We don't have a budget to do multiple retakes. Next scene!
But Clint, we have a digital camera.
Don't question the logic, Phil. We already threw that out in the 6th minute of filming.
Yes, sir.
Next scene! Meanwhile, the creepy guy and Psycho Jr. return to the house.
But there's something you keep forgetting, Steven.
Oh, I suppose you're gonna enlighten me.
That I'm better than you!
Yeah! What?
That I'm better than you!
That's kind of a major revelation to suddenly throw at us in the last third act of the movie. But we're almost done, so I won't complain. They walk into the basement and find Miss Frowny.
Erica, are you alright?
Are you gonna get us out of here?
I'm gonna try.
Then I'm gonna try to be alright.
Okay, that was probably one of the best lines in this entire movie. But it's not enough to save this movie and keep me invested. So let's get the quick version. Father arrives, Creeper hides behind Psycho Jr. Father shoots Psycho Jr. and pins Creeper against the wall. But everyone forgets about Miss Frowny, who stabs him in the back. And then she and Creeper try to leave. But wait a minute, what about Mother?
Let's get out of here.
Yes, but they're still...
Just leave him.
But you still have...
He came back for me.
Hello? Anybody able to think in this movie?
So what's your drink?
Martini.
Okay, these idiots don't know how to count. Which means we are supposed to be surprised when... that happens! Okay, this is just a really weak climax, guys. Just let it go. but the camera gives us one last look at Psycho Jr., who is still alive and blinking. But what does that mean? Does this mean sequels? Does this mean he will seek revenge? Or does it mean that the credits will roll? Yep, the latter! So that was Behind Your Eyes, and my reaction to it was... meh. Some elements of the story are intense, but there are no real surprises or aha moments. I mean, I had everything figured out long before the supposed surprises happened. The acting wasn't particularly strong, although the creepy guy who held them captive at the beginning wasn't bad, and the father character had a really great voice for the role. But the movie did succeed at one thing, making the audience uncomfortable with the lengths that the torture would go. Yet the main problem is that it's supposed to be a suspenseful and thrilling story, when all it does is actually make the audience have to suspend disbelief and be unthrilled by it. So, is it amazing? No. Is it worth watching? Maybe once if you're feeling adventurous, but probably that's it. And that's the gentleman's voice. Thank you for watching, and as always, cheerio and farewell.